And hello, everybody. Welcome to another Ask Us Anything. We had hoped that we would be outside tonight, as we like to do when we're on the road. And we hoped we'd have a better connection because we are actually accessing you through some cable internet because of the storm. So if we get fuzzy or it kind of drops for a little while, just understand that because of the storm, there's power outages all around us. So it's a nice stormy day, isn't it?
It is, but we're so fortunate to be here instead of other places.
Yes, we are 245 miles from the Hurricane Ida, which is has come ashore as a massive Category 4 storm, slightly to the west right now over Houma, Louisiana. We are on Okaloosa Island, Florida, which is about not quite 250 miles from there. We just went outside a little while ago and we took some video. I know people have probably been watching the Weather Channel and you've seen other stories, but I thought it might be interesting for you to see what it is like where we are right now. And let me just run that video. This is just shot just a little. This is outside of our unit, of our condo that we have here in Florida. You can see the palm trees blowing. These are squall lines that come in. Those are 8-foot waves, which are about the biggest waves we have seen here.
And they were beautiful.
Yeah, they are, and they still are. You can see the water kind of coming up almost to the steps. That is way up from where it normally is. This is probably 15 feet more than what it normally would be. The wind and the storm comes up. This is Bo at the dog park this morning. It was all flooded out, his favorite spots. But that was just a quick idea, and hopefully you guys all saw that. I think we were able to run sound over it. But anyway, we are perfectly safe. There's a squall coming through right now, which makes me feel good because it's raining out hard again. And we obviously couldn't be outside because we wanted to be outside. We love to show you different spots.
We do, and what can I say? I just have to say we're grateful that it isn't worse.
We have a lot of people from Louisiana who have fled here from the storm in the condo building that we have a place. Many of them are renting spots, came in this weekend. We met some people at the dog park from Mississippi, lots of people. I did notice that the Southern Racetrack, and I believe they're in Baker, Florida, just a little bit over the Mississippi line, has opened up their racetrack for people who were RVers who had expected to be in an RV park in the affected area. So that's good to know. But no damage here, just power outages, and we've been under a tornado watch all day long here on Okaloosa Island.
And I was amazed that more people weren't out on the beach when it wasn't raining. It was pretty empty. We just went out a little while ago and people were coming out. I think they'd had enough of being inside.
Yeah. So it's been really interesting to watch these squalls come through. So it's been crazy. So I see somebody answer, are you guys afraid of hurricanes? No, we're not afraid of hurricanes. We're very respectful. This is the second big storm we've had in 2 weeks that we've been down here.
Respectful. If we thought it was going to be really bad, we would leave. At least I would leave.
It's one nice thing having our RV out in the parking lot ready to go.
One of us I know would like to stay because he's a retired journalist, and
you're never a retired journalist.
It's true.
Hey, we got a lot to talk about tonight. We have a new sweepstakes, a new giveaway that we're going to announce in just a couple of minutes. We try and do a couple of these every month, and we've got some great prizes lined up for this next one that begins and is open right now. But let's talk. It's funny now. I see everybody talking. Somebody asked, "So you own a condo and an RV?" Yes, we do. And then somebody says, no, only a condo shopping for the RV. Maybe they're talking about Jerry. But yes, we have both. And we love to use this as our base to explore all around when we're down this way. And we also rent this place out. So one of the reasons we come down fairly often is to check it
on
out.
it. And I need to come down more often to check.
Yes, we do.
We won't go that way. We won't go into that route.
No, it's been a challenge this trip, hasn't it? With just
it
renting.
Usually is. It usually
anyway,
is.
I don't want to talk about us. I want to talk about your RV questions, and we're going to get to those in a minute. But let's bring on Phyllis Carr first, and Phyllis is going to help moderate all the questions we get over on YouTube. A shout out to Chris Cowley, who is over there handling YouTube. All of you on Facebook and YouTube from our various groups and pages on Facebook and on YouTube, we're all together in one main feed. And Phyllis, you want to tell everybody about the special sweepstakes we had?
Yes, I actually before before we get into the sweepstakes, I just want to say that if people like those videos of you guys like on the beach and stuff, they really need to follow you guys on Instagram. So there's 3 accounts on Instagram. And so I don't know if this is clear, but if you go to Instagram.com/RV Lifestyle Mike, that's Mike's, like the main RV Lifestyle account. And then Jennifer has one too. It would be /RV Lifestyle Jen. And then Bo's got an Instagram account, which is Bo the RV Elkhound. And so Bo's famous on Instagram. So you can follow all 3 of those accounts if you want. And because especially the RV Lifestyle Mike, because that's where all these little short videos live. And that would be super cool for you guys to see them. Sometimes you do them on Facebook, but mostly they're over on Instagram because it's so easy and nice over there.
Now you did it.
I'll fix it. Here we go.
All right. So while he's fixing the camera.
We got to tell everybody about our new giveaway, this new sweepstakes. Everybody's going to love this one.
So the sweepstakes is SoftStart is giving away 3 units to you guys, to the community. So it's just like before. If you go to rvlifestyle.com/sweepstakes and just do the things at the bottom, there you go. There's a nice picture of it. You can go down to the bottom of it and you can enter in lots of different ways. You can, join the newsletter. You can go to Twitter. You can like a tweet. There's all sorts of things in there. And we run it for about 2 weeks, and then it automatically selects the winners and they will get a SoftStart unit.
So they're doing
it's super
3
cool.
of these. And we have to tell you that these are, from our experience, these are truly game changers for those of you who like to mooch dock or camp off the grid. And, one of the biggest problems of mooch docking, camping off the grid, is not having enough power from just your batteries and inverter to run your air conditioner. Because when your air conditioner starts off, it kicks on the compressor and there's this big spike. Well, SoftStart, that little gadget you just saw, that actually attaches to your air conditioner. It's very easy to install. And it smooths it out so that you can run the air conditioner. If you're out in the middle of nowhere and you have a small little generator, it'll run it off that. But the way we use it is if we're mooch docking at friends' or relatives' driveways, it will let you plug in your RV to regular 20 amp household circuit. And that's enough to run that SoftStart so you can have air conditioner all night. It is a great gadget. And Phyllis, I think if they go to that sweepstakes page, we can even get them a $30 off the normal price of that too. There's a link to it. If people
if you go to that page and then scroll down a little bit right before where you enter, if you're kind of the person who never wins anything and just wants to go get it, we have a link for you, right? So it's at right there, softstartrv.com/RV Lifestyle, and it'll take you and it tells you all about it. You can watch videos, all the things, and get a discount. So it's super cool.
And let's say one more special announcement. You don't want me to say this, but we're going to do it anyway. Everybody wish Phyllis a happy birthday tonight. Thank you.
Yes.
This is Phyllis's birthday.
And you're spending it with us.
And you're
So
Yes.
spending
thank
it with your whole big RV lifestyle community family. So
That's right. I've spent it with my family, and now with my RV family.
yeah.
There
The
you
ones
go.
that keep bugging me, like, "Where's your RV, Phyllis? Why don't you have an RV yet, Phyllis?"
Yeah, we
They
have to
they
start
they
a
bug me in private
GoFundMe.
messages and everything.
Yeah, they do. Well, that's
Oh
good.
yeah, they
Phyllis
send me
is
links.
shopping.
They send me links to RVs. Don't do that. They send me links to RVs.
Yeah. Well, happy
So,
birthday, and
thank you.
keep track. We'll start. Phyllis is going to help us with all the questions, as Chris Colley is over on YouTube, and we're pretty excited about all of this. One last thing, don't forget, that is what you can win. That little gadget right there that we're showing. That's the SoftStart. It's very simple to install on your RV air conditioner. Great instructions, great support from the company. And we're going to give away 3 of them. So you can join that sweepstakes, and we urge you to do so. All right. Now, you ready to do all the questions?
I am.
All right. Hopefully you're all seeing and hearing this okay. Ed Richards, who is right over to the east of us, about 265 miles, I believe, in Baton Rouge, 270. That's a tough place to be right now, Ed.
And Ed is hunkering down, and he hates that word. In Baton Rouge at 4:32 in the p.m., awaiting Ida's arrival. Will probably be on battery power by the time you're live. 73s.
Yep. Ed wrote that, an hour and a half ago.
Mm-hmm.
And that's about the time that power is going out in Baton Rouge. So hopefully he's watching us, and be safe out there, Ed. Stay in. It's going to be a long couple, 3 days out that way. Robin Ostermeyer.
Hope this message finds you both well. Does the back of your RV get hot while traveling? And if so, how do you keep it cool? The back does get hot because the air conditioning is in front
When you're driving the
when
engine.
you're driving
in
the engine.
In the cab.
So there isn't any air conditioning in the back. And if you wanted air conditioning,
We just
Turn on
start the generator while you're driving and run the air conditioner. Perfectly okay to do that.
so how long can you run the generator?
As long as you want. You know,
For the air conditioning?
ours runs on propane, so it could run for hours and hours and hours and hours and days.
So Bo has a request.
Yeah. Bo probably does have a request. Bo's got a lot of requests.
Yeah,
You know?
Bo has.
Bo would like a personal chef and
Mhm.
2 traveling companions.
Yes, he
and
would.
Canine traveling companions.
Yes.
Anyway, so that's how we do it, Robin. Ron with the question.
And this is a hello from upstate New York. Comment on your Florida Snowbirds podcast. And yes, it's true. You have to make your reservations in June to get to get a campsite for March.
Well, there are some places now. That's where you can get a reservation if you tried in June. Many places where you can get a reservation in June for the following November through March period. But the good ones, the good sites, the most popular. I'd start booking 2023 right now if it's possible.
If they'd allow
Most
you.
of them won't let you do that. It's tough. There's 1 million people now RVing, 1 million new people every couple of months, I think. Not enough spots. And, the competition for those good spots increases every time.
And as far as being filled, the campgrounds, people from Canada can't come.
It's that filled. Most of those, I think, are all U.S. people. We still have the Canadian border closed. Now it's supposed to open, they say, September 21st. I would be surprised if it does. I really would be, the way everything's going now. And it's crazy times still. But it's filled with just U.S. instead of the normal Canadian.
In theory,
soldiers.
there should be more spots.
You'd think there would be, but there's that many new RVers who are taking up those spots.
And the reason being that people can't leave the country
like
they used to be able to.
There's a story today that many of the European things are going to close non-essential travel from the U.S. to their countries because of the spike in Delta here in the U.S. So that means more people are going to go RV here. Despina Reyes.
Question. Hi, now that your overnight stops are serendipity, is your sightseeing also random? Do you consult a map for interesting places to visit, fuel, and supply shop?
Well, we kind of do a lot of, when we know we're going to go to an area, we always will spend a little bit of time researching what are the big things we sure don't want to go through that area and realize we missed. So we do a little research ahead of time. Much of our travel is serendipity. We'll see a sign by the side of the road
Mm-hmm.
and wonder, what is that? And we'll go.
Mm-hmm.
I remember one time we had some people who we shared our route. We've learned now we try and share our route after we've done it because we were sharing our route and somebody was they wanted to camp with us. And we said, well, we're working, so it's really hard. We don't have, well, they couldn't find us. They kept coming up a day or two behind us. And where were you? You weren't here. You'd already left. And it's because we found some other stuff along the way. That's why we never travel with anybody else.
We would drive you crazy.
People say, well, let's go. We'd like to follow you to Alaska when you go to Alaska. And we say, no, because, I have no idea where I'm going to be tonight or where I'm going to be in 2 hours. I'm just going to go. And it would drive people crazy. It drives
me a little crazy sometimes.
It does. Van Gogh.
Does your RV have the 360-degree camera options? If so, how well does it work?
It does not. I don't know. I find that an option that I would very much like to have. I think that would be a lot of fun, but ours does not have it. I have a always on rear camera, an extra one that we installed so we can always see behind us. I'm pretty happy with what I can see out of the side mirrors. And then we, of course, have the backup camera, which shows what's immediately behind us, right underneath us as we're backing up when we're in reverse. But those are the only ones that we have. Would you like a 360?
I'm sure we'll have one.
I think I'd be too preoccupied watching it.
Yeah, we don't need any more distractions.
Vanster Tales.
Is ham radio useful when boondocking in places with no cellular coverage to communicate with park ranger stations for situational awareness or to find local resources?
No, not really. It's if you're a hobbyist, if you're a pure ham radio hobbyist, it's fun to stay in touch with other hams and to talk. But for just communications purposes, you're much better off with a CB radio than a ham radio and knowing what's immediately around. We have a story coming up on the blog sometime this week on emergency survival type ham radio and handhelds. And those are good to have. For one thing, they're much more reliable. Site to site, a 5-watt ham radio will still normally get you 3 or 4 miles of fairly good communications. If there's a repeater system that you can access, ham radio repeater systems, you can travel long distances. But it's not really meant you don't communicate with ranger park stations. They're not ham radio operators. And for situational awareness, no, you're not going to. It's not the best tool. A good old CB radio with channel 19 is probably the best for that. To find local resources, no. To get emergency help, yes. Because again, if you can tap into that repeater system, or if you use a system called the amateur radio plotting service, I think ARPS, amateur radio. What it does is it sends out a little beacon with your location on it at any time, so people can follow you on a map. All this is pretty geeky stuff for me to just answer in one question like this. There's a lot of stories on the blog, on the RV Lifestyle blog that I've written that touches on all of these aspects. But you've seen me use ham radio a lot. It's more for hobby purposes and maybe emergency communications than anything else. Hope that answered your question. Maureen Tweedley.
I know you love your rad power bikes, but I need something lighter. What have you seen while traveling that would seem like a lighter but decent e-bike?
Well, that is the trend. Lighter, collapsible e-bikes, telescoping e-bikes that take smaller, but most of them are still going to be pretty heavy. Ours weighs 60 pounds
And
each.
it's heavy.
And it's heavy. It's hard. It's really hard to lift it up, and you figure a way to get it up on the when we do carry it.
2 people.
It's best with 2 people. Even the telescoping ones, I think they weigh 40 to 50 pounds. So there are some lighter weight ones, but with that lighter weight comes less battery capacity and less power. So it's all a trade-off.
I bet somebody out there has something they could suggest.
Yeah, just do a search. We've been happy with Rad Power Bikes. They're probably, I think, the best known, highest quality e-bike maker out there right now. But
They're heavy.
But they're heavy. They're heavy. Yep, no doubt about it. James Harris.
It's a hi, and we picked up our 2021 Unity FX. Oh, they're going to pick it up there. Unity FX this coming Friday. You
Well,
are going to be so happy. You are going to love it.
I hope you will post some photos on our Facebook group, James. We would love to see them. Congratulations. You guys have been waiting a long time for that.
Yeah. What color interior did you get?
Yeah. Anxious to see it. Thank you, James, for sharing that. Deborah Caldwell.
We are in Long Beach, Mississippi. We came back from our RV trip along the upper East Coast. We got home to secure the house and prepared. All is well on the west side of Gulfport,
Mississippi. Yeah, you're right on the edge. You probably are seeing the Gulf of Mexico is churned up, or more so than we are even here on Okaloosa Island in Florida. We're looking at it now.
Yeah.
These are 8-foot waves that are breaking out there. These are pretty big for the Gulf of Mexico. So I'm glad you're safe. As I said, this is hurricane season. This is our second major storm in 2 weeks. We've been here 2 weeks yesterday, and we've had 2 major storms. So 'tis the season, as they say. Bob in Indiana.
Have you visited the Noah's Ark in Kentucky? And the answer is yes. We went there and we enjoyed it very much.
We have a video on the RV Lifestyle channel. Go to, or just look on YouTube, RV Lifestyle channel. Or better yet, go to our blog, because we have a blog report with the video embedded. Just search Noah's Ark on rvlifestyle.com, and you can see our video and our report from Noah's Ark. Very impressive and very popular site now. Very interesting. Take a look. Patrick Hastings.
I am finally heading to the Florida Keys and Everglades for the winter. Don't worry, Mike. I won't be renting a golf cart. Safe travels.
Yeah. If you all are wondering what he's saying, you have to see our video on Key West, where Jen and me and Bo, the elk hound, decided that, we're going to leave the RV in Boyd's campground. We're going to rent a golf cart.
It was suggested to us that we rent a golf cart, and we should have Ubered or rented a small car.
Rented a small car would have been much better.
Oh, anything would have been better than the situation that we had. And we offered such great photo ops, because when we were driving Bo to the dog park, it was Mike, Bo, and me, and I was half falling out of the golf cart. And Bo was as happy as could be, sitting there looking around when we went to golf. We took him to the dog park. Bo is afraid of bumps. And every time we hit a bump, he wanted to jump off the cart
or jump on your lap.
Oh, it was
70 pounds, right?
It was a nightmare.
Yeah.
But we lived through it.
That's good,
I
Patrick.
wish we would have gotten a picture of us.
Yeah. I think we have one of us sitting together, but people were actually pulling up alongside of us and laughing and taking photos. So.
And then when you're in a golf cart on a busy road, no, thank you.
Yeah. But rent a car or Uber. Hey, thank you, Kevin Schapp, for a $5 super chat. We sure appreciate that over on YouTube. That super chat. Thank you, Kevin. That's a big encouragement to us. Linda Barkume.
Not as bad as a hurricane, but Southeast Michigan's getting some severe storms.
Yeah, I keep seeing these. I have all these weather apps on my phone, and one of them is set to our home in Michigan. One of them is set to us here. And they seem to have the same, severe thunderstorm watch. Yeah, I know. I'm watching the storm come through, and oh no, that's back in Michigan. And Michigan
has had an incredible amount of rain this year. I mean, the bugs in our yard, you could barely go outside.
Yeah. It's been a strange weather year this year. Matthew Blau.
You mentioned a new Wi-Fi system. Can you tell us about it?
I can. This is in our RV, and I had actually was going to tell you a whole bunch more about it tonight if we had gone. If we are planning on, like we did last week, we were live outside, found a neat area to come from. It was an RV park up the coast, and we had a couple locations tonight we were going to use, but you can't go out with the storm, so we have to use the cable for access. But And I'm going to do a video, I think, on this soon, and we'll tell you much more. But I can tell you that it's a system called Internet on the Go, and I think I even have I made a URL for it here, if I can put that up. But it's called Internet on the Go, and it's a pretty neat set. There it is, internetonthego.net. And what it is it is a PepWave router that is actually two routers in one. It has two SIM cards, both for a different carrier. In my case, I have an AT&T SIM card and a T-Mobile SIM card. And so this router is constantly searching for which system has the best signal, and it will lock into that. It is untethered, and I mean, it's uncapped, so it's unlimited data. There's no slowdown or any of that stuff. And I have, in my case, with the two SIM cards, I have about 400 gigs a month in data that I can use. So I'm really excited about it. We've been using it and testing it for about a month. It's been bulletproof as far as I can see. Last week's RV Lifestyle Ask Us Anything show was done entirely live with that router, with not a single glitch anywhere. Great connectivity. The one thing I will tell you, it's not for everybody. It's very expensive. The unit costs almost $1,000, at least the one we have, the top end one. And then internet service is $129 a month on top of that. So you got to buy the router, but it's yours to keep. You can do whatever you want with it. And then your service is about $129 a month. So it's clearly not for everyone. It's not for the casual RVer. It's not for somebody who does not need bulletproof connectivity. But if you have to do your job from the road, in our case, where we demand high bandwidth and we have to have no cap on the speeds, I couldn't do any of this stuff if we didn't have access on the road. So I'm really impressed with it. I'll probably do a whole full review and show you what it looks like and how it works. But because we're not using it tonight, I can't do much more except to tell you, you can go to that site and look at it. But again, it's not for everyone. It's very expensive. So I'll tell you more about it. We'll do a test and let you know further down the line, Matthew. So I guess that's it. I guess we've kind of tapped out on all of our. No, we haven't. D. Parker's got a question.
I was looking into the same concerns, and what was suggested to me for an e-bike is electric step through.
Electric?
Electric.
I don't know
step
that.
through. Brand. I don't know it either. It's 12 pounds lighter than rad. Well, that's good to know.
So it's still pretty expensive. Still over 50 pounds. So there you go.
Yeah, that is expensive.
And I don't know that brand. You know, there's a lot of different brands out there. It may be a fine brand. I can tell you that I know that the service and the quality of Rad Power bikes is just excellent. We are.
But if you need lighter, you need lighter.
We're asked all the time by other electric bikes if they can advertise or be a sponsor, and we tell them no. We're pretty loyal to Rad. They've been a sponsor for a long time, but we know their product really well. And I'm not going to test 10 different makes of e-bikes. We use one and we write about it every now and then. But I know Rad, and that might be a great company too. I just don't know the brand.
All right.
Denise Sims.
Does your rear view mirror show what is behind you as you're driving, or only when you're backing up?
The rear view mirror doesn't show us anything. That's why we have a rear camera.
That's why we have a camera, because our rear view mirror, ours is all blocked off. You can't see anything.
There's no window in the back.
There's no window in the back.
Class C. So there's two cameras, right? The one when you go in reverse is the one that just is the backup camera
that manufacturers put in.
Right. That was put in by Ford. Our RV's on the Ford Transit chassis, and that shows on the little GPS screen. But when you're in drive, and the way they have it set, you can't have that on all the time. So we did this in our previous RV. We had installed a full-time dedicated rear view camera that is always on when I turn the ignition on. You can turn it off at the monitor. You can turn it off. But when we drive, we leave that on all the time, and you have a great view of the road behind you.
That's because I insist upon it.
Yeah.
Even though we've got great mirrors, I want that.
Yeah. And it is really nice to have. The only caution about that is at night, we turn it off
Right.
because the lights tend to flare and cause they are irritating. So
Mhm.
we don't run it at night, but in the daytime, we always have it on, and it's great. I really
I think
enjoy
you
it.
like it. I mean,
I like it a lot. It doesn't work with polarized sunglasses, the screen I have.
mhm.
So I was, oh, hey, it went off. And then I take my sunglasses off. There it is. But overall, I'm glad I have it. And I know you wouldn't drive at all if you didn't have it. So
Right.
that's what we have. It's always on. Laura Bullback.
Would you recommend full-time RV travel? I am 59 and my husband is 65.
I sure would.
If that's your heart's desire,
Do it. Go
if you
for it.
both think this would be just tons of fun, do it.
And if you're not sure, try it for a while. Go on some extended trips and see how you both feel about it. But lots of people do. Depends on what kind of an RV, whether, and what your style is, whether you like campgrounds, boondocking, experimenting, whatever it is. But absolutely, if you feel
And
like what you want to do, go give it a try.
it sounds like you're going to sell your house by recommend full-time RVing. How attached are you to your house? Do you want to keep it for a while and make sure you like the RVing, or else are you flexible enough that you sell your house, go full-time RVing, and then you decide this isn't for me, buy another house?
Yep. So good luck, Laura. Leanne Glazier.
I'm an RV newbie. Would you know a good route from Rushford, Minnesota to
Talladega,
Alabama?
Raceway, home of the raceway.
Oh, yeah, I forgot that. I just don't know how to figure it out. Thanks.
Well,
Leanne.
I got just two quick things. One, why don't you take the Great River Road? That'll get you east of Talladega a little bit, but you can just come down, just follow the Mississippi River. They call it the Great River Road. Pick it up in Minnesota, where the Mississippi begins, and follow it south. Secondary, do you want to travel interstate? How do you want to get there? What kind of an RV do you have? Are you going to spend several weeks on the road? Do you want to stay someplace every couple of nights? As you take your route down there, if you want to combine a good RV trip with it, a little further to the east, but never far from the Mississippi, is the Natchez Trace, which starts in Nashville and works its way down to the Gulf Coast, almost to the Gulf Coast. So, and then don't forget our maps. We have a system of maps that will give you all sorts of information. We started this about a month ago. It's absolutely free. If you just go to rvlifestyle.com/map, rvlifestyle.com/map, you'll see our group map. And this is just loaded with tips and places to stay, things to see along the route. It's group sourced, that many of the people who are part of our RV lifestyle community are in it, and they will share their spots. So you'll find plenty of ways. And then our final trip is a thing called RV Trip Wizard. Check that out. They're on our partners page on the RV Lifestyle blog. RV Trip Wizard. It's a trip planning software. It's very simple to use. You join this service. How far do you want to drive a day? Set that. And it will plot out a couple of different maps. You can look at different alternatives, say, I want that one, and then you can add to it. It'll even tell you where to get gas. So if you're a newbie, you'll figure out your own system, but I think you can't go wrong with any of those suggestions. So check it all out. Anything you'd add to that?
Mm-mm.
Yep. Tommy Nadeo.
Notice you went from Class B to Class B plus. Are you noticing much difference in your travels?
Well, it's been quite a while now, Tommy,
years.
but no, I don't think so. Do you notice any difference between, other than the fact
we have
that,
a lot more room.
Yeah, we have.
Because they call it a B plus, but it's really a C, a small C.
It's much more comfortable. How's that?
There is more room.
Gas mileage is not quite as good.
No.
But if gas mileage is a make it or break it thing for you, you shouldn't be in the RV business, because gas.
Well, you can get a
gas
used
is what
one.
gas is. Or you can get a used one.
Yeah.
But it's
and you don't have to get the diesel. If you
Yeah,
got a
you
Class
get-
B, you could get one that
So we've
regular
had
gas.
we've had 2 C's or B pluses, as the industry sometimes calls them, because they're not not as big as more of the traditional C, but it's a Class C. We've had 2 of those, and I don't see us going back to a B. There are some nice B's out there that we could have our arms twisted about, I guess, but right now we're pretty happy with that seems to be our sweet spot, Class C.
I think for the comfort of a mattress,
Oh yeah.
it's like why we like the B plus. We got kind of weary of the sofa bed. You put the sofa and you put it down to make a bed, and then there's no room at the sides. You got to scooch, to get out of bed in the middle of the night. It's a little hard. It's so much easier with the Murphy bed that dropped down. We had a nice big mattress, and now we have the 2 twin beds, which is easy to get out of.
Yeah. So I think we're pretty happy with what we have now. For us, it seems to be the best. The RV Monster.
Your auto seems low compared to me. So that's the first time. I can't tell you how often he said no. Get close to the mic. Get close to the mic.
Yeah, we struggle with audio all the time, especially when we're on the road.
Especially when we're on the road.
So yeah, I don't know what to tell you except I don't know.
Speak up. Speak up. Get closer to the mic.
I am.
How many times I have to tell you? Get closer to that mic.
I knew this day was coming. Yeah, you're farther away from the mic than I am. Actually, look, I'm only this far, and you're that far.
And you're the professional broadcast person.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls.
Enough.
All right, thanks. JP Pony.
Okay. On a serious note, what do you do when you're on the road and get sick? Do you hunker down? Yes. Until you can get going again. Sometimes you're sick, you got to hunker down.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had pneumonia on the road. You've had surgery, but you did not hunker down. You had surgery, took your gallbladder out, and then hit the road. And
the next day.
The gallbladder wasn't while you were having pain.
That was a long
That
summer.
was a long story. So Mike tends to just keep going. I'm a bit of a
but I had
whiner. I hunkered down a little bit.
I got food poisoning or the flu. We've had
food
poisoning. Yeah,
you've
had
food poisoning.
That
was my trip. That wasn't my favorite trip. It was a good trip, but I was in the hospital with pneumonia. I got food poisoning.
Little tiny town in Montana.
You name it. Then the dog died.
And then the dog died. Yeah, it's true. It's true. And then I got 1 day flu someplace at a deluxe RV park we were doing a review on in Naples, Florida.
I had forgotten about that one.
That was miserable.
Yeah.
And then just last winter, up in was it this past winter? I think it was this past winter. Last RV camp out, I got.
You got sick?
Was that this year? No, that was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
It was in 2020.
You got the flu?
I got something in a day, and I couldn't go to a big dinner we had with all the people that we were camping with. You had to be the MC. Yep.
Yeah, it was great fun.
But the bottom line is, what would you do at home? You just lie around and get better. And
I think it's always a fear that something's going to happen to you when you're out on the road. And if your tooth acts up, sometimes you can call your dentist. I've done that. I called my dentist and said, this is what I think is wrong. And he got me an antibiotic, and that held me over until I got home. And there are hospitals out there. I mean, I was in a 10-bed hospital in Montana.
Red Lodge, Montana.
Yeah. And they got me better, got me on my feet. So, you don't want to sit home, because what if you just go out there and if you have a problem,
you can
get help.
Do you remember in Wyoming, Du Bois, Wyoming, we both got this horrible cold. You just couldn't do anything. It was on our anniversary.
We just
and we just hung out
until we got better.
Yeah, and just like you would at home, because the RV is your home. So
yes.
Don't let that hold you back.
Actually, in some ways, it's better having your RV, because it just feels more like being home instead of in a hotel room.
Oh yeah.
Where if you got sick, now what do you do?
Yeah, it's a little hard for the person who isn't sick, but you can go on hikes, you can do all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
But we've had it all happen over 10 years, and you just go on. Marty Santic.
Brand new campground just west of Webster, Florida. Should have a lot of room for the snowbirds.
I'm not sure where Webster is. I think it's in the central part of the state, but And Marty, that's the thing we're finding everywhere we go, that there's even down here on the Emerald Coast, I know of 3 campgrounds that are under development right now that will be opening in the next few months, certainly within the next year. So they're building campgrounds everywhere. So hang in there. It's going to get better. Leslie Shanto.
Emerald Coast RV in Navarre. You can get on a wait list for 2023.
See what I'm telling you, how long it is? That's a great campground. That's just that's not too far from us on the Emerald Coast of Florida for 2023. Teresa Rolston.
Question: when traveling the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, have you ever caught the Northern Lights?
In Marquette on Lake Superior, and I think one year didn't we have a slight show of them when we were winter camping at Tequamanon Falls? It wasn't great. We got over to the falls and
Now everybody's going to know I'm the sluggard. You're up wandering around taking pictures and seeing things. When I'm sleeping, I'm sleeping.
I remember on an Alaskan trip we were on once, there were a pod of killer whales that were circling the ship that we were on, and it was just unreal. And I tried to get her up to come and see that, and it didn't go real well. She did not get up. And
I missed the Northern
then
Lights.
up by Denali, I have never seen the Northern Lights like that. In the Denali National Park, I couldn't get her out of bed. They were so bright at 3 a.m. There were a lot of people out looking at them. It was almost scary. It was so unreal. I've never seen anything like that.
What is scary is that I could not wake up.
Could not wake
but
up.
I later found out a little medical thing problem that I had that I didn't know that I had.
Yeah.
And so now I can wake up.
Yeah. So I hope the audio is good now. I've tried to speak up, but you know,
I'm doing this.
Yeah.
And you're not. So maybe I better quit leaning in.
I don't know, but it'll be better next week. Well, next week we're not going to be on next week because of the Labor Day holiday. No Ask Us Anything next Sunday. Lori Bobbitt.
My road trucks have both had gasoline generators. Is there a way to change or, retrofit it to be a propane powered?
I don't think so, because the engine is completely different. Now, maybe there is a kit that you can put on. I don't know, and I'm sure somebody that's watching and is part of the audience, they might have a better idea, but I don't think so, Lori. I think you either need a dedicated LP generator or a gasoline generator. Our generator that we have on our RV right now is LP, or propane, and we intentionally ask it for that. I have no problem with propane. I actually like propane, and it works great. But I don't think you can retrofit. If I'm wrong, somebody please correct it. Bob Leach.
Do you frequent the donut hole in Destin? It's the highlight of our Destin trips. Just the best.
No, it's not anymore, Bob. It's not anymore. Write this down. Parlor Donuts.
Fort Walton Beach.
Fort Walton Beach, just down the road from Destin, from the donut hall.
No, we're talking about the donut hole.
He's talking about the one in Destin. There's also one down the road towards Santa Rosa Beach, and that's, I think, is a little better than the one in Destin, actually.
Oh, I'm thinking that the one that we first went to, the first donut hole we went to, which I thought was
that was over by Santa Rosa Beach.
Right, that was good.
Further east. The one in downtown Destin is kind of a popular for their key lime pies, although we can tell you where the best key lime pies are too.
Key lime pie, easy. You like them all.
No, there's only one place I like key lime pie.
Publix.
They make the best key lime pie, hands down. But there's a new donut shop that opened in Fort Walton Beach called, why are we talking about this? Parlor, Parlor Donuts. And it is, I've never seen donuts like that. They are incredible.
They're good.
But up until then, we liked the donut hole.
Yeah, we do like the donut hole.
Dawn Day.
I am new to boondocking. How long can you dock before you have to empty your tanks? And where do you empty them?
Lots of places. RV parks will let you do it probably for $5 or so. Many truck stops, most rest areas, particularly in the South and along interstates. About every other one usually has an RV dump that you can use. And you can always use an app like the All Stays app, which has a whole section of that app just on RV dumps. All Stays is one of our partners, and you can even get a discount by joining their program too if you go to rvlifestyle.com/partners. But that's a great app to have in terms of dumping it. Now, how long do you have before you can empty it?
That depends on, is it just you or two
Yeah, how
people
many
or three
people?
people? How many people? And,
For
you
the
know,
two of us, 5 days, 6 days, and that's using it exclusively, if you know what I
so,
mean.
so anyway, there are places that you can empty because that is a concern. Like where,
Yep. It is. We've never not been able to.
Mhm.
So you can try that. Heart Matters blog.
Is it still a good time to sell a pre-owned RV motorhome?
I think so. Yes, I think it's slowed down a little, as I know. Just as the housing market, they say, is starting to slow down now a little bit, but still very hot. Just as a note, we've been up and down one of the big highways here in the Panhandle. There's a couple of big RV brokers that take used RVs from folks and they sell them, and they take a commission out of that. And I noticed both of them have had Class C, fairly new looking Class Cs out on their lot. And I noticed them about 2 weeks ago. And then when we just went out there the other day, we went out to some friends and went into Pensacola. I went past both of them again, and they still have the Class Cs there. So I don't know if they're just asking too much money, but I still think it's a pretty good time to sell. Spring will obviously be a little bit better, but give it a try. I think so. Don Wadley.
Do you recommend covering your RV for winter? There seems to be mixed feelings.
Well, yeah, I do. If your RV is in quote storage, if you're leaving it in one place for 3 months or 4 months or whatever the season might be. And by the way, we'd love to recommend a US based company called Empire Covers. They're one of our sponsors on our podcast, and they're a partner. They have a special discount. I think they're doing 60% off right now. And you can find them on the partners page. But in our case, we don't need one because we use the RV, all the time, every week of every year. So we camp in the winter, and so we're always using our RV, and it would just be too much of a hassle to have to put our cover on and take it off all the time.
And if we move, what we would like our next house is to have a covered area, or ideally it would be to have a garage
With the 10, 11-foot garage
so
door,
that we
I
could
drive
park
it
it
in.
inside.
Yeah.
That would be ideal.
Yeah.
I mean,
Then
I don't want
a
an
heated
RV.
garage. Then we
I
don't
don't-
have to
I
winterize
don't
it.
want my RV a couple miles away. I want it close.
Yeah, we use ours as a set all the time for doing videos. So we have to have access to it. And
Mhm.
I use it as our second vehicle. That's why we don't have anything larger than that, because it's very easy to get around in ours. And it's our second vehicle. So we use it. The fireweed spirit.
Last week you mentioned that you didn't like taking the table out of the RV, LTV garage. Why is that?
Did we mention that?
No, we didn't mention that. The table we were talking about was the table that you set up inside.
Yeah.
You can put it between the twin beds. We can between the twin beds, or between the two chairs that face each other. You can put the table up. Actually, the table in the garage, we love it.
Oh yeah, we use that all
We
the
love
time.
that. I think every
Get it.
RV should have that. We're trying to decide whether to order one with our Wonder.
Yes.
Yeah,
we really
we
recommend
like that table, because if you truly boondock and you don't have a table, it's nice to have something outside. No, we're just
You were talking about the lagoon table
Yeah,
inside.
we're lazy with that.
We're just lazy.
We're
that's
just
all.
lazy.
I mean, because you got to take it out, you got to hook it up. It takes up a lot of room. I would leave it up all the time, but Jen doesn't like that, and so
We have such a little space in the kitchen area. I don't want it tied up with that table.
so that's
And
I know.
we have a 74-pound dog.
Yeah, who's competing with that?
If we didn't have the
space.
74-pound dog,
Yeah, I'd leave one up probably all the time.
yeah,
So what we were talking about in that one is that we ran into an RVer who had picked up 2 TV trays. Remember those standard old TVs? And she uses those. And so she actually gave us one. And it was really nice of her. It's just, here, take ours. So that's what I've used. Like in the morning when I get up, I do a lot of work, or sometimes at night. And it's just easy. It stows away right easy. I just set it up, and I have a place for my
and it's very
computer
interesting. The color, the top of it matches the color of the inside of the LTVs.
Yeah, but the table you're talking about was you ordered the table that you hook up to the side of the RV that stows away in the garage. Get that. That's a great feature.
Get it if you camp at places where there isn't a picnic table, supplied. If you think you're always
Yeah,
going
I
to be
guess
where there's a picnic table, then don't get it. But if you're thinking you might
boondocking. Oh my gosh, it's so nice to have
then it's
that.
nice to have.
And we sometimes will use it to do our live shots from live videos. Nancy Emmons.
We just got a Starlink at our home. We're waiting for the one.
That Elon Musk has for the RVs. Yeah. I wish it was available now. That's the one we're all waiting for someday, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they'll test it. I think they're testing it now, not on RVs, but in similar circumstances. But I don't think it'll be available for a while. But I assume you're enjoying it, Nancy. And this is only going to get better. The Starlink network. Y'all wonder what we're talking about. We're talking about Elon Musk and this constellation of low orbiting Earth satellites that he's put ahead that is providing high-speed internet. And it's now available in homes in many parts of the country, and it will soon be available. Tornado watch in effect here, according to my radar on the watch. Anyway, it'll soon be available in RVs, and soon meaning in the next year or two, probably.
So what areas do you have it available in your home?
In most of the areas of the country, it's available.
Okay.
Large swaths out. D. Parker.
Okay. Have you guys visited Ruby Falls underground waterfalls in Tennessee? If so, your thoughts?
See Ruby Falls painted on
What were we,
barns.
17 or 18 when we saw that?
Yes, we haven't seen it
We ought to go
since.
see it again.
We should go see it again.
Yeah.
It's near Chattanooga.
We were driving down, and every 10 feet they had a sign. And so,
That was even before the interstate. In every
Right.
barn, see Ruby Falls.
I mean, how could you not go see it?
Yeah, you know what, Dee? That's
We
something.
need to go see it
We
again.
will go see it the next time we're in the Chattanooga area.
Yeah.
Lookout Mountains, another big feature there in Chattanooga. Right next to it. You might as well see them both on the same day. You can see 7 states from one spot. And that's pretty fun. A good question. Jacqueline Sejak.
We just bought a GoPro 9. Love it, but it is taking hours to upload a video to a YouTube. Is there a trick to getting that quicker? And what do you use to upload your YouTube?
Well, I edit the video. First of all, it shoots in 4K, which is extremely high resolution. And really, even though you can run 4K on YouTube, you're just wasting band space if you upload anything under anything over 720. So edit your video down to a length, and then and then export it as when you export it, you compress it down. I don't know what you have for an editing. I use Adobe Premiere Pro to edit, which is a fairly high end. It is probably the most popular professional video editing system out there now. You can edit in, the cheapies, the final, not the Final Cut, the iMovie or some of the cheap settings. I don't know how to use that. There's some settings that I think that GoPro has, but that's what I use. We edit it down to a reasonable length and don't upload raw video, and we compress it so it's not uploaded in 4K. So, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, I can't help you much more. It gets real geeky if I go too detailed here. Lola Love America Martyr.
What tire pressure gauge do you use, if any? And Lola travels in a Travato, and I'm looking for a quality gauge. I have one on the pump, but that takes too long.
I have a tire pressure monitoring system in our RV, so I use that. And then if I have to put pressure in myself before I go on a trip, I'll check the pressure on the TPMS, tire pressure monitoring system. And then if I have to install, I have my own little air compressor, small little air compressor that I use. And, that has a little gauge on it, and it's real easy to top it all off. But I really do recommend a tire pressure monitoring system for folks. And if you're getting a new RV, most of the better RVs have that as an option you can have, or they offer it as standard, and it's just a good thing to have. And then if not, you can get an aftermarket TPMS system. Tire Minder 6 is one that I have familiar. In fact, I'm giving one away at our RV Lifestyle Supporters in-person gathering next month in Natchez, Mississippi. So those of you who are going to that gathering, I'm going to be giving one of those away. So could be you. That's Tire Minder 6, it's called. Rebecca Hutton.
Thinking about selling our Tiffin Class A, who do you suggest we go through to sell it?
You want to sell it yourself? Do you want somebody to do it as a broker? Do you want to, are you trading it in on something else? Those are all questions that I would need the answer to really give you a definitive answer.
Who do we go through to sell it? So they don't want to sell it
Then,
themselves.
then just go to the nearest RV dealer and say, hey, will you give me for this? Or will you sell this on
What
commission?
about that broker?
There's a million of brokers everywhere. Just search RV broker. Or if you want to sell it yourself, RV Trader is the publication that I would advertise it in. I would not necessarily use Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist or anything like that. This is too much fraud involved in all of those. But RV Trader is a pretty good place. That's what they specialize in, and I think you'll get the most hits by going through them. So give that a try. Well, we are about out of time. Can you believe how fast this hour went?
I can't believe how fast it went. I saw that somebody else posted that they use their RV as a second car.
Oh, yeah.
I think if you have a B or a small C, using it as a second car just makes sense.
Yep. So I know we didn't get to all the questions, and it's a big frustration every night. I hope our video kept it all going. But would you do us a favor? If we didn't answer your question and you'd like us to, the follow-up to Ask Us Anything is our RV podcast, which we do a video version of and an audio version. We will definitely use your questions if you just take your smartphone and go in selfie mode and just record yourself asking us a question and send it to us as a video file at that address. And we'll run it in the podcast, and we'll answer as many of them as you can get us. So Mike and Jen at rvlifestyle.com, and we'll send it as a video question, and we'll do our best to answer them. So that's it. We want to remind you of get our cool shirts. This is like my favorite: small house, big yard. Our little RV. That's our RV right there. And lots more cool merch on the thing, and all of our books. You can find that if you go to that website. All of our travel guides. We should probably talk about the sweepstakes again. We announced a new one that just started tonight, and you guys really need it. We're going to give away 3 SoftStart RVs. It's a $300 value, and we're giving away 3 of them to those who enter. It's absolutely free to enter, and you can enter as many times as you want. Just go to that address. You can learn more about it, and it's pretty cool. And then don't forget the map. We often talk about places. Check our group map, join our group map, offer your places. It's all free. You get a little app that you can access. And when you're out on the road, you can share your spots, or you can use the app to find spots, and you can use it on your laptop or your desktop as well. So there you go.
Do I say my top is you have to go to Orvis?
Oh, yeah. Yes, Jennifer's official clothing line is Orvis, which it is. All of your clothes are Orvis.
Not all, but quite a bit.
Yep. So we don't sell your shirts. But we could. Maybe we should. All right. I don't know what else to say except be safe. We are in Okaloosa Island. We'll be here for a few more days. Then we're going to start heading back north towards Michigan, where we got a drop-off Bo with our daughter, who's going to watch him.
We haven't asked her yet if she'll watch him.
We asked her.
Did you ask her?
Oh, yeah. She said she would.
Okay.
And then we're heading from there. We're heading off to the Hershey RV show the second week of September. So RV seats, and then from there Elkhart open house, and from there our special supporters gathering that we'll be doing in Mississippi. So lots of traveling coming. No Ask Us Anything next Sunday
because we're going to be on the road somewhere.
We'll be on the road. It's Labor Day, and Phyllis and Chris need a night off so they can enjoy it. Phyllis, one more time, tell them about that sweepstakes. When I say they can enter as many times as they want, it's all free, right?
Yeah, there's a certain number of things that you can do to enter, and just do as many of them as you can, and enjoy. Don't stress about it. I know people stress about these things sometimes, but and share it with your friends. Maybe they'll win it too.
That's
Maybe
right.
your RV friend needs one too. So it's a good thing.
All right, Phyllis, thanks much. We'll talk to you again. Enjoy next Sunday off and have a
Yep.
happy rest of your birthday today.
Thank you.
She didn't want me to say that to everybody, but hey,
Hey,
it's the
it
Self
happens
family.
to all of us.
It does happen to all of us and happens every year. We should get used to it, don't you think?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, that's it for this week. We sure enjoyed all the comments and questions, and it's so great to hear from you. On the lots of news coming up in the newsletter tomorrow, the podcast on Wednesday, we're going to talk about RV air conditioners. We're going to talk about SoftStart RV, why that's a great thing. We're going to also show you and talk about the quietest, most powerful air conditioner you can get for your RV, and why a lot of people are having replacing their RVs and getting a really super quiet one.
Guys, do you know how hard this is going to be?
For you already want me to get that thing, don't you? Yeah.
I like quiet.
So we'll talk about air conditioners. We're going to talk about running them on battery power, and we got some technical expertise that we'll be tapping into. It'll be an interesting podcast. Plus, of course, your questions. Don't forget to send them to us. All right, we're up. Our hour is up. Thank you guys so much for spending this Sunday night with us. Be safe out there. We love you much.
Happy trails.